Yo, it's your boy Q. We're here with another episode of Convos with Q. Today's episode got a special guest. It's a real talented guy, jack of all trades, and I'm really not over exaggerating. Homie know how to do all type of shit. Into music, fashion, producing, rapping, a lot of things, footworking, house music. You name it, anything about Chicago, this dude knows about Chicago. Hence the name, Chi Blu. That's the homie, man. That's family, actually. Chi Blu. I want y'all to check him out, listen what he got to say. Real talented guy, man. And, the regular, like and subscribe, comment, share, all that good shit, I want that love too. So in the meantime, tune in, Convos with Q, have a conversation. Like I said, we got another episode of Convos with Q. Got a special guest. None other than the Chi Blu.
Appreciate you.
That's
man.
family right there. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I cannot complain, cuz definitely appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir.
I'm feeling decent though, man.
Feeling decent.
Ready for this weather to warm up and
Ready
do what
for
it's
this
supposed to do.
Yeah, we in Chicago, so Chicago up and down. 1 minute is 20. It was just snowing last week.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was 70 degrees, so you know how home base is. But let's get into it.
So
Chi Blu.
what's up with it?
Where the name Chi Blu come from, bro?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So blue originally came from like my childhood. My grandma block on Honorary. Shout out Honorary.
H Block.
You know, H block for sure. Me and a few friends on the block, Kiwani, Miss Price,
Yeah.
granddaughter Teresa. A few of us around the block, like we was doing like plays and little skits and shit like that or whatever. And I remember I think it was like the last one that we did. My character name was Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And it just stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Blue been my favorite color. Um I've always gravitated towards the color blue, and I just felt like the name fit too. So as I got older, I went through a few little changes to the name from Young Blue, DJ Blue back when I was DJing and stuff like that. And then I vividly remember another artist being mainstream going by Young Blue.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, I gotta switch it up a little bit. Of course, I still want to hold on to Blue because I had gotten so used to it, but I figured I'd just add a shot to it because, of course, I'm from Chicago.
That's
You
a
know what I'm
fact.
saying? There's not too many here. And then it's also a play on words too, because online some people see it, they like Chi Blue, Chi Blue, Chi
Right.
Blue, or whatever. And I intentionally picked Chi
Chi Blu.
because regardless of how you pronounce it, each of those meanings holds some weight towards it. So Chi, of course, like Chi Town, Chi meaning energy, like Tai Chi.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go off sound, shy like SHY, like somebody that's shy and timid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the total opposite.
That's a
So
fact.
it's it's intentional. And it just plays with being from Chicago, being energetic, um, and not being shy.
Okay. So, you family.
For sure.
Been knowing you for forever. We were just talking about that off camera and shit. But what I do know about you is you into a lot of shit, bro.
Yeah.
And you always been to a lot of shit. You mad talented. You got uh you like a walking, what they call them, the pocket knife shit. What they call them?
Mhm.
The
Oh, you talking about with everything
yeah,
all on that one
I
thing?
can't
I
think of the
forget.
name of the shit though, but you one of them.
For sure.
And you like I said, you very talented, man. You didn't you do beats, poetry, you was teaching dance classes at the time, you rap, you produce, videographer. You got a lot of fucking, you know what I'm saying? What is your passion? And on top of that question, what made you get into that?
The best way I could probably answer what my passion is, um, in simple terms, is just creative expression. I think that that's the umbrella that all of my talents fall under. Just being able to create, I feel like that's what it means to be an artist. And that's why I try not to limit myself just under one title or one
Right,
hat,
yeah.
because like, and especially with the way my ADHD set up, it's just like I'm going I'm going to bounce around from this and that. So the passion itself is just like creating, is storytelling, uh, creating, storytelling, and bringing my personality and my individuality to that, whatever that looks like.
Mhm.
Uh, Even within those realms of like DJing, uh, just to use as an example, I still look at that as a form of creative expression, because like you are curating storytelling through music, whether you trying to give off an emotion, a feeling, a vibe, anything like that. And considering the fact that storytelling is literally time travel.
Right.
That's how I look at it. Like
Okay.
we could sit here and have a conversation, be like, remember that time when this, that, and the third happened at the function at grandma's house,
Right, right.
and your mind can go back to that moment. You can remember what you were smelling. You can remember how you was
Yeah,
feeling.
vividly,
So
yeah.
it serves as time travel, and I think that just being a creative, uh, literally means to just like uniquely document history. Tell your story. So
So, I remember you doing a series, not too long ago, maybe a few years ago, whatever, on who is Chi Blu.
mhm.
Um, I was trying to follow it as much as I possibly can, but, I'll be all over the place sometimes. So,
What's up?
my question to you is, who is Chi Blu? And if you get back into that series, what would people get to know or understand about you as Chi Blu?
For sure. Um, Sky Blue is a multitude of things. If I could put that in a nutshell, I would say Shy Blue is a creative who uses artistic platforms to not only tell who he is, but find out who he is.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that the most beautiful part about my artistic journey is finding myself through it. You know what I'm saying? Certain situations, certain places play a part in our identity. And I think I like to credit myself on being transparent and being vulnerable enough to just be honest and be like, yo, I'm figuring this thing out.
Mhm.
Like I ain't got all the answers. And I think that the beauty in it is having questions. Um, I feel like the question sometimes in some cases is more important than the answer. And I pride myself in trying to put that ideology in other people's heads. Like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? While I'm also trying to figure out who the fuck I am. You
And the
know?
thing about it is, not to cut you off,
Mm,
trying to figure out who you are is okay.
yeah,
You know what
absolutely.
I'm saying? Because you will get to a point where, okay, this is who I am,
Hmm.
right? And then you'll get to another point, okay, damn, I just n- realize or notice something else about me that's gonna evolve me into a better me anyway. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So, like I said, when you was doing that series, I thought it was super dope because it's like, okay, who is Shy Blue? And Shy Blue all over the motherfucking place.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You
sir.
gonna catch this nigga directing a video for
Hmm.
independent artists in Chicago.
Hmm.
You gonna catch this nigga making beats for himself and for others and for podcasts. You did that for, the
Yeah,
freedom of thought shit when we was doing or whatever. Shout out to them. You know what I'm
indeed.
saying? And
Yeah,
us or whatever when we was doing it. Um, rapping, poetry, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And you actually, when I know for a fact, when I love your poetry side, I also love your rap side, but what you say be really impactful too.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So what made you get into that part of, the Shy Blue persona as far as the poetry and the rap?
Word. I can credit getting into poetry to Greater Union Baptist Church on Warren and Damon, west side of Chicago.
West side, okay.
Shout out 290.
I've been there.
I feel like my intro to poetry was at Greater Union Baptist Church. I never forget. You know how we had like I ain't gonna say assemblies, but like events at church, ceremonies and stuff like that. We had a guy come through, a few people actually, that were poets and was spitting poems or whatever. And I just remember thinking, like, man, like, no pun intended, but that shit was dope as hell.
Mhm.
Like, I know we in church, but the delivery, the smoothness, the wordplay, caught my attention. I already had interest in rap prior to that, but seeing other people perform, get on stage, seeing the reactions that they was getting, it piqued my interest. And I remember me and my cousin Money, shout out Money out,
Shout out Money up.
Getting into it after that. Not getting into it like
Mm-hmm.
getting into
Get
it,
into
but
the
getting into
field, yeah.
poetry, writing and things of that nature, which later on when I was in school, there was a competition I was a part of called Louder Than a Bomb, which is the largest youth poetry slam festival in the world. And it's
Okay.
held in Chicago.
Chicago, okay.
So I started competing in Louder Than a Bomb in 2008, 2009 school year with a few peers and things of that nature, and just developed more of a love for it when I got to see slam poetry, like the
Mhm.
competitive side. Being surrounded by people who are telling a similar story. So the involvement with church introduced me to it. Louder Than a Bomb kind of gave me a different perspective of poetry in terms of competition, slam poetry, so the competitive side. And I stuck it through all 4 years in high school, being a part of the poetry team, doing slam poetry through Louder Than a Bomb. And I ended up winning indie. I ended up winning the individual poet. I know that's gonna get edited. Um, I stuck through the poetry slam team like all 4 years while I was in high school, and that led to me winning the Indie Slam Champ Award for Louder Than a Bomb, being the #1 ranked poet in the city of Chicago
Okay.
in 2012.
Okay. Yeah, so what I remember, I'm gonna see if you remember this. Your Uncle Dick had a birthday party at one of the family houses or whatever, some years ago. And what that's how I knew how talented you was because I remember you and E or whatever, both of y'all did a rap slash a poem or
Mhm.
whatever. And I was just looking at when you said your poem, I think you were describing if I remember, it was a long time ago.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know
So
what you're talking
what
about.
I remember is when you were saying your poem, bro. Now I don't remember everything that you said. I just remember the people that was around it. When I say that you grabbed their attention with the things that you were saying, bro, I was like, this little motherfucker, super talent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and I appreciate that because in the Chicago scene, in the rap scene and things like that, you know, for my opinion, I'm a little old school to this that not no 80s and no shit like that, but
For sure.
I'm more of a lyrical person that think, you know what I'm saying, or I like bars and shit like that.
For sure.
And what I notice about you is you can hit them with the everyday shit, but you can hit them with some things that so basically on some what today would consider Kendrick Lamar
Yeah.
or in my time Nas, but you
Yeah.
could also if you're comparing it to throw on with some Jay-Z shit,
Yeah.
meaning like how the bars flow and shit like that,
Mhm.
or in today's time, Drake shit. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
got a balance of how you could hit them and shit like that. What is your and it feel like you have a love for music and where did
Absolutely.
your love for music come from?
Absolutely. I'm primarily credited to my mama.
To your mom,
My mama, shout out OG, shout out Mama Dukes.
okay.
She got a dope taste in music. And I feel like she inspired and piqued my interest in music a lot more from just hearing her vibe out and rock out in the car when we getting dropped off to school or picked up, or her doing laundry in the basement and like freestyling and stuff like that. And so
How Kim used to freestyle? Word.
I'm not gonna lie, my mama is definitely musically inclined. She don't really show it a lot too. So that's why it's
Yeah, I ain't
like
never seen that up. That's dope though.
in those moments, it's like it pulled me in more, you know what I'm saying? I'm paying attention because I associated for a long time. I associated music, rap, art with status. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, famous people do this. So to see somebody like my own OG folding clothes and spitting freestyling or whatever, I'm like, yo, that's
Basically a lot of famous people started with she.
exactly.
Yeah.
So just to see how close that was to me and it being my own mom, I'm just like, yo, this dope, you know. So I definitely credit her to my interest in music initially. Uh, and not just on the rap side, the house side too. My mom a huge house head. Part of the reason why I'm even
House music,
involved in
Chicago
Juke,
house music. Yeah.
you know, if you don't know, get in tune. But yeah, I definitely credit it to my mom, and of course other influences like my cousin Money, Michelle Money,
Money up. Yeah.
rapping and playing instruments. That's how I got into instruments and stuff like that too. So I would credit my involvement to music to OG.
That's what's up, man. Like I said, man, I noticed back then the type of talent level that you had, and I was intrigued. You know what I'm saying?
For sure,
And
appreciate that.
you know, you super dope in what you do. Because real quick story, going back to the podcast thing, me and my cousin and one of the homies, Ty, we started the Freedom Thoughts, the podcast or whatever. He kind of doing his own thing right now. Shout out to him.
Yo, shout out, bro.
And I sit there and seeing you make a beat from scratch, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I never, up until that point, I never experienced anything like that. And I'm talking about you break what that you basically composed it, right? So it's like you were like, yeah, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. So you got everything you needed, and you just did everything, and you just okay, let me go back to this, and you was actually teaching me and showing me how you did it. And when I say not because it was our personal beat. When I say I was so excited, you know what I'm saying, for that moment or whatever, I think that was like the dopest experience that I personally had. And you did it like in 20, 30 fucking minutes. You know what I'm saying? How did you get into that? And how did you know how to listen for sounds and put certain drums or whatever in certain spaces? Like how did you even get into that?
That's a great question. I don't remember like the exact moment that I got into producing and making beats. However, I do recall being in high school. Uh, it's this software which is still out today. A lot of people still use it. It's called FL Studio.
Okay.
Money again, my cousin, big cousin, introduced me to FL Studio, which is like the software a lot of people use to either record, engineer, make beats, things of that nature. Uh, I was seeing him do it. I got interested in it, started learning it a little bit myself. And a little bit of a fun fact. I was in After School Matters in high school, which if you from Chicago and you familiar with ASM, After School Matters, it was like the first opportunity kids got to know what it feels like to work a job. So we got paid. However, we got paid to learn the craft. So I picked up photography, videography, which correlates and
I
ties to
forgot you
music a
do
little bit too.
photography and shit too. Yeah, I forgot.
So I got into um, the After School Matters program to make some money. Got the After School Matters check. I slid to Michael's, the music store right across the street from Ford City at the time, and I had bought this Newmark Total Control, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name of it. Newmark Total Control is like a little box that's made, is meant for like DJing. So I took my After School Matters check, went to Michael's, bought some equipment, went home, and was just sitting there figuring out, you know, trying to mimic some of the beats and some of the stuff I was hearing from like other dope producers like Zaytoven, um, and others. So interest from Cuzzo doing it, interest from already having a love for this, but like just having ideas in my head that I wanted to bring out and make myself like customizing and stuff like that. Plus, with my involvement with like juke and footwork or whatever, I wanted to make my own juke
For
track. So
working,
when I
yeah,
first got
footwork.
into making beats, I was initially making like juke music, making footwork tracks, and
So juke music is, for those who don't know, it's a Chicago thing too. So we got juke music, we got house music, we got steppers music.
yeah,
Like I feel like not to get off topic, but on topic a little bit. Um, Chicago influenced a lot of the music genre. You get what I'm saying?
absolutely,
And like you just said, like you took a lot of parts from different, you know, points of the culture of Chicago,
yeah,
right? From your name, Chi Blu,
yeah,
all the way into, um, making beats and your poetry and your rapping style and things like that.
yeah,
And you say you did footworking,
yeah,
right? So, and we all know you could catch him online, and he was also teaching the class about footworking.
yeah,
So my thing of bringing that up is you a jack of all trades, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's
yes,
it's
sir,
just what it is. And I love the fact that you have that talent, and I love the fact that you do things with your talent,
for
right?
sure.
So my question far as that is, do you still make beats? Do you still produce videos I mean, well, make videos or anything like that?
Mhm. Uh, Here and there, I don't do it as often as I used to, which is like in the verge of training. And I gotta credit you, bro. I gotta give you your flowers too, because like even with what you got going on now with convos with Q, um, you pulled me back into it when you asked me like, hey, could you, say, could you do the intro for this as well as some of the other projects that you asked me to like help out
Mhm.
with. So I wouldn't say I'm as active as I used to be, but I'm still doing it. I still got a love for it, got a genuine love for it. And it's something I don't see myself like getting rid of,
Mhm.
like while most people just think therapy look like sitting down talking to somebody that you paying, um, I consider art being one of those
A
forms of
form of
therapy.
therapy. I
Yeah.
see. It's funny that you said that because I feel like doing a podcast is a form of therapy. You get what I'm saying?
Hell
Because
yeah.
I don't knock people who actually go and sit down and talk to somebody or something like that, but
Absolutely.
I don't mind sharing my truth when it comes to whatever. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to being a parent, growing up in whatever environment I growing up, how I came about loving the sneaker culture, or how,
Mm,
you know, it, dealing with relations, whatever it might be. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
feel like you 100% right in far as the therapy aspect of it when it
Mm,
comes to stuff like that. Because shit, nigga, motherfuckers gotta get shit off their chest,
yeah.
right? And you doing it through music, and I'm doing it through conversing. You
For
know what I'm saying?
sure.
And I don't mind.
For
And
sure.
some people will share, that's fine. But I feel like I always could be um more, what's the word I'm looking for? Outspoken, and really don't give a fuck what a motherfucker think.
Yeah.
And criticism, whether if it's good or bad or whatever, like my homie Maurice said, shout out to him. He said something that always stuck with me. Like, man, look, whatever information you get, whether it's good or bad, he like, well, take the meat and
Yeah.
throw away the bone.
Yeah.
Right. So you already know how that sounds. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, that's a dope ass analogy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I I look at things from a broader scope. At least I would think I do, or
Mhm.
whatever. So when it came back to, I'm trying to create something or whatever, I know the talent, far as using my resources.
Yeah.
Yo, Marquis, or AKA Chi Blue,
Yeah.
nigga, I need you on this shit. What's up? And you ain't never let me down. You know what I'm
For
saying? Any
sure.
questions that I had, or any, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a little younger than me, so you more into the know than I am when it comes to certain things.
Mhm.
You always there, and I appreciate you for that. You
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying? So you talented, bro. You got a lot of talent, bro.
Yeah.
And in your art, I see it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what life throws at you, you still find a way to make something happen. So I would hope that you get back into it full time because it's that better than I do, nigga. It's all about content.
Yeah.
Whether if it's, like I said, the poetry, production, music, podcast, something. You have a hand in a lot of that shit. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like you should get back in it full time if you're able to. Because I'm
Indeed.
sure it's a lot of money in it. And granted, I'm sure it takes a lot of time too.
Yeah.
I'm sure it takes a lot of time.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So outside of that, what you got going on today? Or what you
Today
got coming up, rather?
coming up. So the next event coming up, we are doing Night of Music, which is a series that was started by my brother. 2 weeks. Shout out 2 weeks. 14. He started a series called Night of Music last year that
Mhm.
he asked me to be a part of. And March 28th at 35th Street Studios, we doing Night of Music again. It's also gonna be a celebration for his birthday.
Okay.
But we got a couple dope artists coming through. We got Sensei coming through performing. We got Whitney coming through performing. 2 weeks also gonna be touching the mic. Y'all come through, y'all might be able to catch some new shit from me. But as a collective, being a part of the 14 network, essentially the main scope of things is just pointing out that we feel like art and creative expression is a superpower. And so, bro has done a great job at curating these events and asking me to be a part of it to help in any form of fashion. It's something I never decline, never turn down. Um, like yourself, 2 weeks is also one of those people uh, who has like a vision, has an eye, has an ear for a lot of things, and started this series to try to get people together from the city to highlight some of those hidden gems, those artists that people may not know nothing about or may have
Mhm.
never heard of, but people who actually look at this craft and adds their individuality, adds their personality, their uniqueness to it, and not just necessarily doing this to like come up or to cloud chase. Because there's a lot of people in this field that's just like doing stuff just to do it, just to gain attention, just to make some money and stuff like that. But the art is lacking substance. So to be working with a team of like-minded individuals who are not only just talented but care enough to extend their hand to be able to reach out and help other artists.
Mhm.
So on the 28th of March, this upcoming Saturday, 35th Street Studios, the Night of Music is going down. Your boy gonna be hosting.
Okay.
Gonna be performing.
Okay.
We're gonna be networking with a bunch of dope artists.
So that's the 28th of March, correct?
28th of
Okay.
March.
My question to you is because I have two questions. I hope I can remember the second one. But the first one is you said the team. What's the name of it again?
The 14 Network.
What is that?
So the 14 Network, um, to better describe it, I have to give context to 2 weeks, um, which is the CEO of the 14 Network.
Okay.
And his name is 2 weeks because he was back and forth in the studio during the time he was working at Dollar Tree. He was back and forth in the studio every 2 weeks. Uh, Essentially, every time he got paid,
Got you.
he was
Got
going
you.
to the studio. And so the I think either the studio producer or the studio engineer kind of like gave him the name, saying like, "Bro, like yeah, 2 weeks you in here."
Mhm.
But to better explain it from my perspective in regards to the network, every 2 weeks when you get paid, that feeling is a good feeling. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Um, to know that you have something coming
Something
in
coming up.
and
Yeah.
knowing when it's coming in, knowing how much is coming in.
Hold on, before you finish that, let me piggyback off that.
Mhm.
Every 2 weeks, see, like everybody be on the gram and different social medias. They ain't sometime in person be front like everybody got it, right?
Yeah,
You getting paid every 2 weeks, like you just said, nigga. I know I'm finna get a check
yeah,
coming up. You know what I'm saying?
for
Now,
sure.
what I got to do with the check is a whole different story. But just the fact that you know
Yeah,
that you got some money coming in, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Every 2 weeks can go a long way for those who don't be fronting. You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? Or don't put on, and you know what I'm saying, whatever the situation might be.
Yeah.
So looking forward, nigga, I'm an entrepreneur myself as well as you, but I don't never discredit a motherfucker who has an actual 9 to 5. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most of the time, people who had 9 to 5, y'all shit guaranteed. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
whatever you do with your money is your business. But outside of that, yeah, that 2 week shit, that's important, and I appreciate the every 2 week shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? For those who be fronting and shit like that, fuck out of here. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Um, so to draw it back, like the 14 network is a group of talented, ambitious, hungry, and selfless individuals who pride themselves on being true to art, being
Mhm.
true to themselves, understanding that those things aren't mutually exclusive, and making sure that all that we encounter, everybody who we come across, when they encounter us, it feels like payday.
That's what's up. Okay. So my next question, I do remember it. Because you said something about, up and coming artists
Mhm.
from the city and shit like that. How do you feel about the music scene and the artistry coming out of Chicago right now, as far as the underground? Because I would consider you an underground artist. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So how do you feel about, the underground artists coming up in Chicago and trying to, get to the place where they need to be?
I feel like I'm proud of the city. Um, First and foremost, I'm proud of the scene. Proud of the scene, proud of the city. I feel like a lot of the underground artists are getting better at networking, getting better at community, getting better at getting out of the crabs in the barrel mentality and like
Right.
actually helping and boosting and pushing each other up. I know firsthand from attending like open mics, going to these little small spots. It ain't always about like the big concert at the United Center, Lil
Mhm.
Baby and this person, the G Herbos, the this, that, and the third. Which shout out to all of those people.
Mhm.
But I like the grassroots aspect of where the art scene is right now.
Okay.
The the open mics, the small scenes, the smaller venues and things like that. I'm proud of the direction that it's going in. I feel like the support is starting to turn up a little bit because here in the city, support don't be as like in your face and obvious as other places, other cities. So I feel like we improving. Uh, it's damn near like it's still a lot of room to
Room
grow.
to grow, yeah.
But the artist here is it don't get no better than that. And I don't mean to like be egotistical, but like Chicago births, Chicago births some of the most dopest artists
That's a fact.
in general in any
That's a fact.
lane. You know what
That's
I'm
a fact.
saying?
That's a
Not just
fact.
on the music side, but like we hella influence the culture. Like it's a lot of places that try to mimic and try to replicate what's being done here. And I personally am just proud of where we at right now
Yeah,
and the
because I feel
direction we
like
going.
Chicago is the capital of the Midwest, right? You know what I'm saying? You got the Clevelands, you got the St. Louis's, and you know what I'm saying, the
Yeah.
Detroits and shit like that. But shit move a certain type of way here. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the different vibes of all
Mhm.
places of, the states or whatever, or the cities around the states or whatever, right? So,
Mhm.
and then we're a hard crowd. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like, nigga, you just can't come here and just feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna
That's a
go
fact.
over easy, or we just gonna lay down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know how they do like quote, the showtime at the Apollo when niggas get
Hmm.
on stage and boo, nigga, the whole city will boo the fuck out you
Bro.
and don't get no fuck. You know what I'm saying? And then if you don't like it, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's what I love about our city. You know what I'm saying? Working class, tough, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And the fact that you said it's a lot of people coming together and the hate is slowly, moving out
Yeah.
or whatever, and the support is building. It ain't 100%, but
Yeah.
it's building and
It,
it's getting better. What can you ask for? You know
yeah.
what I'm
Facts.
saying? What the fuck can you ask for? So I appreciate all that shit, but like I said, back to Chi Blu.
Yeah.
like I said, I'm gonna keep raving on how talented you are, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I
Appreciate it.
really, really, really want you to get back into this shit full time if you're able to. So
Absolutely.
you got shit coming up or whatever. Any plans for the future that you want to try to get into, or you trying to accomplish, or what's going on?
Mhm. So, and like I briefly spoke with you about this too. Ideally, in terms of like longevity, when I look down the road, with like this tunnel vision perspective, I want to have a space to where all of those talents can thrive, to where all of those talents can also be taught. Um, so I have a history in teaching as well,
I was gonna get yeah.
with pretty much the same talents that I possess. I've taught music, I've taught photography and videography, I've taught dance. Uh, I want a space to where all of those talents can live, to where I can provide a service for people trying to learn those, and essentially still have a space that can be shared, um, rented out, things of that nature, to where I can do the open mic up out of there. If I want to have a day set to the side to where I want to teach what I know about producing or DJing, essentially just having a space to where all these talents can live, where they can thrive, um, where community can be built, where other artists can come and learn, better their brand, whether that's learning marketing, whether that's learning uh, public speaking, perfecting their craft in any way, being able to use that space to do such a thing. That's what I look at uh, down the line as far as like future plans.
Okay.
I'm also planning on doing a project this year. Stay tuned, more details coming soon.
Mhm.
Um, but ideally, I want to center the project around house, around juke, and find that
Oh, you
that
want to take it
meshing
back?
threshold. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. And I feel like, truth be told, when it comes to doing music and being an artist, if you are going to tell your truth and tell your story in your art, I feel like for me it make that much more sense. You know what I'm saying? To do my shit in that lane. It's like, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
rapping, but I'm seeing people come up marketing their music on the juke side, although they don't have no ties outside of being a Chicagoan.
Hmm.
And it's like I'm sitting back and I'm watching people profit from the juke music, the house music or whatever, and they don't dance. They only tie to it as being from
Hmm.
Chicago. So it's like,
Hmm.
with me being a dancer, being a footworker, and then also being a rapper, being an artist, it would make sense for me to see what that lane look like for me. So I'm just trying to do it that way for starters, because this would honestly be the first project that I release. I've released singles um individually, but I've never released a project. So the first project that I do release, I want it to be a tie to where combining the juke, the house, the beat down house with rap, and still being able to stay true to who I am, while of course still profiting from it, because
That's a
there's
fact.
definitely some money to be made in it. Um, but yeah, that's something that's a must. I feel like people can look forward to looking out later on in the year. But it's gonna be some singles that's gonna be released before the end too. Keep the people moving.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
I ain't never asked you this before.
So
Is there any way before you get up out of here, you could drop a couple of bars for me?
I could do that. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me see. We going acapella
Yeah. Just so the people can know how you get busy and shit like that.
for sure. There's something slight. I ain't gonna go too crazy. Something slight. I say, pick me up when I get stranded and I'm trying to find some clout. I still ride down 71st when I can find a better route. Know it's life up in my tongue, so I just speak it. I don't hope it. Shout out Riri from the go, cause man, I swear she helped me focus. You know I done had my trials, huh? Them tribulations had me faking all my smiles, huh? Can't hold me back cause niggas fronting on my style, Heard my niggas thirsty, let they horses to the now. Mama birthed a hyper child, and now I'm out here doing backflips. I'm from Inglewood. We was flipping off the mattress.
It's a fact.
You feel? I'm gonna leave it slight. I'm gonna leave it
It's a
there.
little something. Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah. So, what could people? Wait. First and foremost, are you? Do you have any services? Meaning, could people get in contact with you if they want, some production done or anything like that? If so, how can they get in contact with you?
For sure. Yeah, I have a bunch of services. To be truthful. Um, and a wide range of things, especially dealing with artistry. But if anybody is interested in either getting like a writing workshop, perfecting their craft on the pen and paper, if they looking for like marketing, if they looking for pictures, videos, anything like that, all of those things are still on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I can be reached uh, primarily on Instagram. Who is Chi Blu? That's Who is Chi Blu? CHIBLU. No E on my name. But I can be reached on Instagram. Who is Chi Blu? Uh, the same services that I provide, the team also provides. So I do want to note that, like in events where it's times where I can't get behind the camera, or I can't verbally and physically be in the studio and be present. That's the beauty in the 14 network. Everybody on the team possesses artistic talents, uh, and have artistic abilities that can be, used to push anybody forward. So anything you need, I still cut hair, what I'm saying? Even outside the art, all that. I do a bunch of shit. So
I know, man. Like I said, I can't remember or everything you do. I just know you do a gang of shit and you always, like I said, multi-talented type of guy. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I'ma always rave about you, bro. Been knowing you since you was like 12, 11 years old, some shit
yeah,
like that. And I appreciate the man that you became and the man that you becoming. You know what I'm saying?
for
So
sure.
keep doing your thing, bro. I appreciate you stopping by Convos with Q,
Indeed.
showing me some love. You helped me put this shit together, and we got to do this again, bro. When you get ready to drop your projects, we gotta, make it happen.
For sure. Most definitely, man. I appreciate you for having me and for, what I'm saying, for doing the work. You know what I'm saying? I remember back when the first podcast started and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature or whatever, but just to see like like you said, when we was referring to the city, the progress that's being made, like I think it's easy to get wrapped up and caught up and like, oh man, I ain't doing enough, I ain't doing enough. And that's something I do a lot to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I get a little caught up and feel like I'm slacking or whatever as an
Mm-hmm.
artist. But uh I commend you for the long run, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
I
it,
think
bro.
it's no doubt. I think it's a beautiful thing to have an idea and to pull it out your head and to take any little bump in the road or whatever, like take it constructively. Ain't nothing completely stopped you, even if it slowed you down or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Uh, I got to give you your flowers on going back to the drawing
I
board
appreciate it,
and
bro.
just, you know what I'm
I
saying,
appreciate
making
it.
shit happen for
I mean,
real.
because I feel like I do this shit because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, if something come out of it, thank you, Lord. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Bro.
if not, I'm doing it because of the enjoyment of doing it. And I like to talk. You know what I'm saying? So and I got a thing about myself was I like to hear people and learn people also,
Yeah.
right? So like I said, like shout out to my homie Maurice, take the meat, throw away the bone. I'm learning from everybody who I speak with.
Yeah.
And if it pertains to me in a way that I could take a little bit from it to implement it, whatever I got to do moving forward,
Yeah.
that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? And then circle around back and appreciate you for, helping me along the way. You know what
Indeed.
I'm saying? And show love. So that's all it's about with me. I'm gonna definitely show love, especially to those who show love to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the type of person that I am.
Indeed.
So, like I said, convos with Q, got the little cuzzo shot blue.
Yes, sir.
Tune in, What you said?
March 28th.
28th.
March 28th. Night of Music is going down. 35th Street Studios. Be there or be box.
Check them out. Instagram. I am Chi Blu. Right.
Who is
Chi Blu? I'm sorry. Who is Chi Blu? Check him out. Anything you need, get into it with him and his team. And we out of here. Convos with Q.
Indeed.